and I beg our listeners to spam the crap out of your Twitter account and tell you otherwise. Anyway.
Ew.
Hey,
Wait.
what?
Are we recording now?
Right now?
No.
Yes, good sir. Caught you off guard, didn't I?
That wasn't supposed to be on the recording.
Well, it is now. And on that note,
Welcome to the Nerdentials podcast, starring your hosts, Joe Tweedy, Matthew Johnson, Nick Thomas, and Lynn Dudgeon.
hey nerds! Never done that before. Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering TV, film, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweeden. Joining me this evening to one side, breathing heavily into the mic or rubbing his beard against it, I'm not sure which, the redheaded ginger, Matthew Johnson.
Heyo.
Oh, he jacked your intro, dude. Oh, what the hell? Well, I don't care about redundancy, Lynn. Let's throw it over to you. Also accompanying us is, I hope you're ready for this, sir, the Lynn Dudgeon.
Catch a ride.
All right, different, fresh. I like it. Matthew did jack your intro, but that's okay. We love him still.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw a curveball.
You felt it's been a while. It's been a long time since you've thrown me a curveball, Matthew. I appreciate the nostalgia of the whole thing.
No worries.
Guys, it is good to be back. We are getting ever so closely to a weekly release, dear listeners. I uploaded our last episode late in the week because we recorded late in the week. It's all right. We're now currently recording on a Friday night. I have full faith that we can get this out by Monday. That's my goal. I've said it here on the air. You guys can hold me to it. And I hope you send us hate mail if it doesn't happen. To be honest, any mail would be appreciated. And you guys can shoot that stuff at us. Nerdentials@gmail.com. Guys want to
As
send us
long as it's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I can edit it, Matthew. They can send us the nastiest stuff they want, and I'll proliferate it through my reading, and I'll make it funny. So,
Okay.
if you dear listeners and viewers, that's right, listeners and viewers, if you want to send us something horrendous and hateful, go for it. We'll read it on air. But that being said, you guys can check us out in a number of areas. You are currently, if listening to us in podcast form, have either found us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Spotify, and or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Secondly, if you want to check out our ugly mugs or see some of the shenanigans that happen in video form, we're on YouTube. Search Nerdentials on YouTube. We're the only ones out there with that name, and you'll find us. But guys, to round out all things nerd.
Wait.
Whoa. What, Matthew? What?
I'm not a butt guy.
I retract the statement. If you guys would also like to find us in other areas, including written articles, nerdy reviews, and audio and video content, everything can also be found at one wonderful location known as nerdentialsmedia.com. It's become a thing, listeners. It's become a thing, viewers. Anyway, go there, you'll find everything. And as always, at the bottom of every episode, wherever you find us,
See you on the other side. Oh.
it's not the end of the recording yet, sir. Hold on.
Wait. Other side? Did I miss it?
Yeah, apparently, Lynn, you missed the whole damn episode. It was a wonderful 2-hour experience filled with content to the brim. I've got one little tidbit of news that I wanted to get some perspectives on, and then we'll jump into the bulk of tonight's discussion. We're covering a couple games tonight. This is going to be a gaming-centric episode. It's been a while since we've done one, and here it is. I will start off by saying, guys, here is, for the gaming bits, your weekly dose. Thank you, Bill and Ted. That was our excellent. So, guys, here is the weekly dose as far as news concerns ye. I just had one particular topic I wanted to throw out there that I thought was interesting. It's a little bit of a slow news week across the board, but there was one topic I found interesting and just wanted to get our resident PlayStation veterans' perspective on, and maybe even our other nerdy perspective that's not quite veteraned in said content. That being Matthew. Sorry. Now, you have experience. I'm not shutting you down completely. I want all perspectives here. We're talking about the Sony PlayStation in this little bit of news coming at you. So what's happened recently this week is that Sony has changed up their pay scale for what PlayStation gamers are used to knowing as PlayStation Now. Is that correct, Lynn? Is that what it's called? PlayStation Now?
The streaming service?
It's the streaming service that's
the TV service is called PlayStation View.
Yes.
The streaming service for games is called Now.
Thank you for the clarification. So specifically, we're talking about gaming, guys. So what they recently announced was a price cut in the service that was it still is, and they're not changing the format. It's still their gaming streaming service. Sony announced a price cut in their game streaming service, and they also added in a couple big hitting huge first party hits to the streaming service. So here's what they've done. They took their PlayStation Now service, which was originally, Lynn, can you confirm this? Was it legitimately $20 a month? $19.99?
For equivalent, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I understand it. I get it. Like this, they were ahead of their time when they came out with it. The whole idea of streaming their games, and you get mixed feelings from fans as to how good it was or is, and it also depends on how good your internet is or was. But bottom line, it was over $100 a year or $20 a month, depending on how you subscribe to it. And Sony just announced a price cut of literally 50% on the monthly base. So they're basically dropping it down to $10 a month. Sound familiar, Matthew?
Indeed, yes.
So to go along with that, they announced they're around 800 titles. 800 games are now available for streaming choices to pick from. And they also, I don't remember the other titles, but just to throw this out there, their new award-winning hit, God of War. Well, that, you know what, Lynn, we just played Gears of War.
It's a little odd that both game consoles have a game that's very similar in name, and it does also contain God, or not God, but a game
GOW
that starts with G and ends with War.
I think it's no surprise that maybe this is why the Coalition game developer decided to shorten the title to Gears when they came out with Gears 5, as opposed to Gears of War 5. Maybe had something to do with it. I think we could speculate, but it is a little on the nose.
Why does it sound different when you say it?
Right? That's that PlayStation Xbox language barrier.
There is a language barrier for sure.
I'd like to throw this one out there. I just got the long musket to drop off of the Chupacabra, and that is the gun that Gearbox said that they were going to put into the game for Elon Musk.
Nice.
That's
Hence
awesome.
the name, the long musket.
Nicely done.
And it
I
does
like
a
it, Gearbox.
crap ton of damage too.
Yeah, it's a flamethrower, and it's a PDR weapon, so when you throw it out, it's a turret that sits there and shoots flames.
I mean, to be fair, the man is quite a tour de force in the industry, so yeah, it makes sense. He likes to throw very interesting, on the edge ideas out there.
Anyway, we were on the topic of Gears God of
War. God of War, a recent award-winning first-party title for Sony, was added to the streaming service.
I will throw it out there. If you have not experienced the new God of War, it is worth it. And you need to ignore all the memes on the internet until you've played through it. And then once you've played through it, then you can get the memes and you can laugh. Only until then.
Right.
Straight face.
Kind of like the memes that have been going about with Shadowkeep. and then Bungie taking that to like a whole nother level.
Yeah. The Shadowkeep memes were good.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Joe.
Okay. I pulled up the article just to be a little more specific for our nerds out there. Reported by, at least in this article, by The Verge. TheVerge.com wrote that they cut it down to $10 a month. And the two big titles next to God of War is they added Grand Theft Auto 5 to that service as well. Regardless of personal opinion on it, those are both huge games.
GTA is kind of a big thing because that one is not an exclusive. That one is
multi-platform.
And that's kind of a big deal. I'd like to know whose balls they had to fondle for that one.
Oh, also, Lynn.
With Wolverine.
Also, here's another little bit of spice to add to the topic. They also added Uncharted 4 and Infamous Second Son to the streaming service.
Okay. Uncharted 4 is good if you've played all the others, and it'd be nice if they'd make sure that content was on the streaming service. And Infamous, that is a game that if you loved Prototype or the Hulk game from back in the day on original Xbox, Infamous is a good one where you get to play as like the anti-hero superhero, and I've got nothing but good things to say about it. Like when you played as Cole in 1 and 2, and just where the storyline. First Light, if anybody gets a chance to play First Light, that game is based in Seattle, and like the map is 1-for-1 Seattle.
Right. Yeah.
And
so
you have the power to control Neon in First Light.
I sampled that game back last time we hung out, Lynn, and it is a cool game. I like the mechanics and the theme of it.
Yeah, it's one of those superhero games. Anyway.
So just to round out the topic of this whole thing, in contrast, other services that are currently going and have just recently up and come. Last episode we talked about Apple TV Plus, and so sorry, Nick, but you're not here to argue this. I'm bringing up Apple one last time, only because they're also trying to get into the gaming space as far as streaming services go. And the only thing that Apple has added to this thing is they've worked with a lot of different indie producers to acquire a lot of independent content that's exclusive to this Apple streaming service that they're affectionately calling Apple Arcade. Now, the difference with this is it's not going to be on consoles, but you will be able to play it through either your iPhone, your iPad, or on the Apple TV device, through Apple Play, or even I think with a Bluetooth controller. Don't quote me on that, guys. But they're offering up to 100 games right off the bat starting now. It already launched a few weeks ago. I'm trying a 1-month free trial right now. And I'll give you guys a little bit of perspective on what I've experienced so far, but I'll come back in a few weeks after I've sampled their library of the free month that I get, and I'll give you guys kind of a general review of what's available and whether it's good or not. But they're coming in at $4.99 like their streaming TV service. So for $5 a month, you can play over 100 mobile games. Most of them are completely exclusive to the platform. I just played one thing I can speak on of a game I have sampled. I think it's called Oceanhorn 2. And
Forza Horizons.
I don't know about all of those different ones, but the one I'm trying to speak on, Lynn, Oceanhorn 2 is an RPG. It's a super in-depth, full 3D RPG equivalent to a Legend of Zelda game. Right down to the same tuck and roll mechanic of like Ocarina of Time, and he makes the same audible like the same voices that Link makes. There's puzzles, long deep dungeon. It's a 2.5 gig game, and the graphics are gorgeous. I've played about an hour of it, and already I'm like, if you love Zelda games, this is a game that would hook you very easily, and it's part of the Apple Arcade streaming service. There's also a top-down view car game that I've been playing called Speed Demons. It's got racing, it's got demolition modes, and it's very reminiscent to a top-down version of Burnout, the Burnout series. If you love any of those games, guys, I also highly recommend that one. I've played a couple hours of that, and you are literally finger guiding top-down view of a freeway scene where you're guiding your vehicle through traffic and you're smashing through stuff. You're either outrunning police or you're smashing through semis and cars to gain points. It's also got an excellent soundtrack, very techno, high-intensity beats, and it's a lot of fun. So that's a little bit of a tangent / partial review of the service, but I'll pause for a minute because I feel like Lynn needs to get something off his chest. What's up, Lynn? What's up? If you want to be a negative Nancy about some of it, you can.
Oh, I'm not being a negative Nancy. I'm waiting for you to get back to the Sony thing because I have nothing negative to say about the Apple thing.
Okay.
Okay. He does have things to say negatively about the Sony thing. No.
Okay, let's get back to it then. Sorry.
With the Apple thing, it's rock on, make your shit better, and cool beans. You do you. Keep it going. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Lynn's philosophy, which I too adhere to quite extensively. I fully agree with you, Lynn. The only other comparable offerings are like EA Access, which offers their library. Currently, hold on. Try not to puke yet. This isn't Nick talking about Apple. Come on. EA Access was exclusive to Xbox, but later this year or next year, they're going to also open it up to Sony. So PlayStation will also have EA Access very soon. What?
Is it because I own a PlayStation that you immediately thought I had an issue with EA?
No, you just have an issue with EA. I understand that.
EA. I know. EA. I have an issue with EA. Ugh.
Okay, but aside from EA and our personal opinions of EA, EA Access for $5 a month or $30 for the whole year does give you complete access to download all the Mass Effect games, the Burnout games, all the sports games that EA puts out.
And Anthem?
Oh, I know.
$70 for and it's shit? What?
I'm not. Okay.
What?
Would you like to be on a soapbox for a few minutes? I'll let you go for it.
No, it's just I'm frustrated that it's f***ing free for EA Access, and
Well-
it's still $70 and it's garbage that I paid $70 for.
Well, I completely agree with you, Lynn. So I'm not dismissing your feelings on it. But what I will add to this is that that's the thing that these companies are going for. They're going for the subscription-based services because it's easy to, once they get you looped into their infrastructure, you can look at every game they add to it as being like, oh, they're now adding this for free. When in reality, you're still paying $5 a month to get that quote unquote free Anthem. So they're still making money off a game that everyone shit on and hates. Is that a fair point? Is that a fair point?
The fair point would be that it is crap because it did flop so terribly glad.
There's a difference between my statement, Matthew, of fair or not fair. What you're saying is an accurate statement. That's a factual statement. Everyone shat on it and hates it. The fair statement is that although Lynn is pissed off that it's being offered on a service, that service is still something you have to pay for. So
Correct.
it's not.
Service, and as of right now, it's a service that I can't access.
But I can, and the difference. All I'm saying is, that you're gonna get access to it. You're gonna get access to a game that you've already paid for. But guess what? You would have to pay for it again in monthly installments to have this service. So I'm not justifying the service in this statement. That's what I meant. That's why I said, to be fair, don't feel too bad about it, because those people that now get it quote unquote for free are still paying a monthly cost to have it, even though they get a backlog of EA titles. You keep rubbing your hand. Do you want to add more to it? Because I don't know. I've shat on them as much as I can.
Let Matt go, and then I'll unload.
Okay, Matthew, go for it. Go for it.
Dropping shells into the shotgun. Let's go.
I can't wait for this. Anyways, so with the whole EA Access thing, I think my question would be, if you bought it on Xbox, which right now you do have access to that, Lynn, you do have access to get EA Access.
I want to buy
so don't say.
Hold on. Let Matthew finish.
I wonder if with the licensing thing, if they would allow you to just port that over to PlayStation. Seriously? EA is that much of a money grabber? It's
not EA. It's gonna be a Sony thing. I can almost guarantee it.
Regardless.
And here's how it will work. Is Xbox gets so much of a profit off of the subscription, and then Sony will get so much of a profit.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just thinking from a business standpoint right here and a logic standpoint. That's the way that it's going to work. So that's why it'll be console-based subscription.
But if EA is doing this, would that also mean that they're considering crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox?
I would say that's going to happen eventually, because they're slowly bending the knee to cross saves. The next step will be cross play. We're not banking on it, Lynn. I'm not.
Don't mix the Kool-Aid, my guy. You're digging deeper into what any of the number crunchers want you to dig into. Don't mix the Kool-Aid.
I would say, Matthew.
I like digging.
I would say, what's the point, Matthew?
So with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, that is already crossplay. You can play with PlayStation and Xbox.
Yes, it is. But again, what's the point? Like, what are you driving at, Matthew?
Maybe Sony's going under, and Microsoft is slowly taking over. Because you can buy the Game Pass on other platforms. Even PlayStation.
Here's a rumor that I don't want to dive into because there's no facts to back it up yet. But here's a rumor I've found circulating online. Sony, I think, is still in the running for doing too well off. They're too well off right now with PlayStation console sales in this generation. They're still the top dog. And as far as movies go, they're still heavily banking on movie sales with Spider-Man. And they've got so much planned right now. I don't know where they are as an industry, but I feel like they have a couple cards in their deck that they're not going to let go of yet. But the rumor going around, Lynn and Matthew, is that Apple jumping into this crazy game of streaming and gaming and trying to compete. They are, like I mentioned in the last episode, a $1 trillion company, and there were previous rumors that they would thought about acquiring Disney, but that ended up getting shelved. Here's another rumor that is very possible. Apple might try to buy out Sony's media portion, like their movies and gaming.
Right.
It's not in talks right now. No, don't quote me on this. No one's actually in any sort of official talks, but it is a circulating rumor right now on the internet. And Lynn looks completely defeated by the idea. I get it. I don't want Apple buying any of these things.
No, I'm not defeated by it. It's one of those, you dump the bag of rice out onto the table, try and find the one where Apple actually buys Sony. Or buys the media rights to Sony.
It's a complete rumor, and with all intents and purposes, Apple likes being exclusive. They like keeping their cards close to their chest. So it's very unlikely that they'll purchase any major companies. They didn't end up buying Disney. And again, Sony purchasing is just a rumor, but if Sony is suffering and a bigger company offered them enough money, it's a possibility. That's all I'm throwing out there. Like, we can come back to this at another time, but
No. Can I go over what I'm going to go over as far as the EA thing, and then
sorry. Thank you, Lynn, for bringing me back on track. I just wanted to throw those things out there, and our listeners can comment. We can come back to it. We were talking about the Sony streaming service that now dropped in price and is seemingly trying to compete with Xbox's Game Pass, which right now is extremely popular and doing well. And you wanted to mention EA, so I'm gonna give the floor to you, Lynn. Go ahead.
No, you re-diverted the track, and then I'm splitting the track back. But
for it.
When Matt went off on
shoot
his
your
thing,
shot,
and I was loading my shotgun. Here's my thing: what EA is trying to do is turn games into a live service. So you know how you buy your hard copy. You used to buy your hard copy. You had your hard copy in hand. You owned your game. What EA wants to do is say, hey, there's this library that's reoccurring, and you have access to it, but you got to pay the subscription fee. We might necessarily always update it month to month, but we'll make sure that there's such a large enough catalog there that you don't complain about it. And you don't have to no longer buy games because you got this awesome streaming subscription that you pay for, and you don't feel like you need to buy games. So we're going to take the age of buying games away from everyone, and everyone owns a streaming subscription of the company that they like, or the entity that they like.
I don't like that.
Hold on, Matthew. I don't like it either. I don't think any of us like it.
As one who lives in an area where internet is garbage,
yep,
I don't speak for everyone on this earth.
Right.
I want to make that clear. My internet is garbage. I don't speak for everyone. But of someone who does have poor internet quality, this is not a good choice. Streaming games is not a good choice. Being a subscription where you have to download the game and all you own is a key, a digital key that says you have rights to download this game, is a poor choice. I can see where it's nice, where it's beneficial to some areas or some people, and some people might like it, and it's convenient. But for everyone on this earth, it is not a good choice. And it only makes it to where a capitalist society gets worse. And certain companies try to take advantage of a group of people. And I'm not saying it's just EA. It's a lot of people. And that's where it's where people are allowing it to go to.
Just to add, go ahead, Matthew.
So I bought Game Pass Ultimate for the simple fact that I want to try out games and play games. Am I a bad person?
You're not a bad person. I'm not saying
That's not his point. That's not Lynn's overall point.
no. What I'm
I know, I
saying is
get it.
I'm not saying that people who buy into it are bad people. What I'm saying is the business model is a bad model.
Can I throw this out there to that statement?
Well, this point is going into where my thoughts and opinions on the PlayStation service.
Okay, go into that, and then I'll add.
Where I'm going into this is Xbox set the bar with Gamer Pass. Xbox said, hey, this is what ours is going to cost. We're not going to change it. And with anything, when they included gold in, it only affirmated and cemented their views on it and said, here's our price. Anybody that's above this, you're going to lose out on business because our price isn't going to change. And here's where we're at. So everybody either needs to get on the bar or get below the bar. That's the only, make yours better or be where we're at is what Xbox said. And that's what I'm thinking PlayStation did. And by adding in those titles was to compete with Halo, Gears of War, and all those other first-party games that Xbox has on Gamer Pass.
That they promised are going to be on there.
Yeah, like Crackdown, that's on there. I can't get that.
And even though they're not officially first party, all the previous, Forza Motorsports and Forza Horizons are guaranteed. Same with, Sea of Thieves, which is also first party. Rareware is first party currently.
Yeah. It's I guess that's kind of where I'm going. I'll get off
Matthew. You're fine, Lynn. Matthew, any added comments there?
I was just gonna say something to Lynn. You do have access to them because I'm account sharing with you.
Well, I did buy into the bullshit as well.
And Matthew, to be fair, you were sharing with me at one point, but then I ended up subscribing to Game Pass myself. So no matter who I'm sharing with, I still have it. Because I do believe strongly enough in what Microsoft is offering. But just to throw out the whole to add to Lynn's point, and I completely am on the same page with you, Lynn. As far as there are many people with not the greatest internet, and so that's something that a lot of these companies are going to have to overcome. If they want to succeed, they're going to have to build the infrastructure across the globe that's going to allow this to work. And we're going to see the fruits of their labors coming up this fall with Google Stadia trying to blow open the doors to nothing but streaming, and Microsoft's xCloud, which we got a launch window for. I forget what the date was, but it's this fall, and right now exclusively you can try it out on Android devices. But
November 21st.
Thank you, Matthew. But Microsoft and Google are entering into a completely new phase of the industry. But here's the plus side. Google doesn't have a place to fall back on. they didn't start with the back catalog of physical media. They're launching into a pure digital world, and good luck to them. We'll see how that pans out. But Microsoft is not leaving behind the physical media yet. They definitely got the jump start on it with digital downloading and purchasing, and even with xCloud, they're not removing their physical sales yet. I see what a lot of industry specialists are seeing and projecting right now is we have easily another 5 years before they even consider not making physical media anymore. I think we're still good for another 5 years, and I think they need at least 5 to 10 before Microsoft or Google even have the infrastructure, meaning the servers in place to push this level of capability. I think that's where they stand, and I don't think you're going to be left in the dust, Lynn, because there's many years left of them still selling physical media, and hopefully places like Nevada will expand their internet abilities in the next 5 to 10 years. I would hope, because it seems silly that they're not.
It's not even. I mean, I'm still able to download stuff, and I'm still able to, play stuff. It's the download process is what's painful, and it'll take
Yeah, it's a lot
anything
longer.
anything big like Destiny. You guys have seen it. It takes me a good week to download Destiny.
Yeah, and that hurts our hearts, Lynn.
I'm not trying to plead the sympathy card, but it's like when you're playing online and my ping is through the roof and people are sending me messages saying that I'm manipulating the network.
Yeah.
But
You're not the only one, Lynn. You're
the
not.
one thing
Yeah.
I would like to circle back to, and we could totally make another topic, is the Stadia.
Right.
That thing, the long gist of it, in my opinion, is it's a joke.
Like VR, I think it at this point in technology and ability seems like a gimmick.
My biggest complaint with that is they don't offer a catalog with your subscription, and you have to buy games.
On a side note, they did make a deal with Bungie to offer Destiny New Light with subscribing to Stadium. I know they're free. The New Light is free everywhere, but I don't even know what that is or what's special about that.
So I mean, I'll be able to get Fortnite on it too. Cool.
Yeah, a game you don't even play. Well, guys, is there anything else you want to say about this as far as like PlayStation? What do you want to say to them with them trying to compete with Game Pass to conclude this whole overlying topic?
So my concluding thought is that Sony is seeing the line in the sand that Microsoft drew, and they're coming to it, meeting it, and they're saying, hey, we see what you're saying, we see where things are going, and we're trying to be fair to our customers, like what you're doing, where there's something set in stone. Our previous price was an experiment, and the experiment didn't work, so here's where we're at, here's where we're going. We'd like to be transparent.
Yeah, it's ran its course. And they're also seeing the success that Microsoft is having, and they want to try to stay on top of it.
Exactly.
And if they added PlayStation Plus to it, they would almost have to make it the same price as a Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah. Well, that Game Pass Ultimate is the console and PC and Xbox Live for the singular price of $14.99. So right. Game Pass $10 by itself. Xbox Live was $10 by itself, and then the PC thing is a completely new component that they didn't have before, and they're all trying to shrink it down into a $15 package, which I think is an incredible deal as it stands. So
yeah, it'd be nice. It would be nice if, like most cable companies, everybody saw it that way and
right.
went with it. Like I bundled my phone, home, and internet with it, so I've got wicked cable prices. Yeah.
Woo!
I saved a bunch of money by switching to Geico. All right.
Well, guys,
with your internet, you might want to try maybe like a 56K modem and see if that works even better.
ouch.
Sorry.
So, well, hey, sometimes you gotta let off the throttle a little bit for the fuel pressure to kick you up.
There you go.
Lynn would know, guys. He's a mechanic. That being said, gentlemen, let's pull on out of the news topics. Yes, Matthew, pull out. That's what I said. And then let's jump into.
But I don't like to do that. Oh.
Let's jump into a little. I won't call it our week in review, and I'm still working on a new stinger for Nerdentials breakdowns because we've been doing that lately, where it's kind of a review / unfolding of something that's come out new. You know, we did a breakdown with Apple TV.
Shit we played last week. Shit we played the week before. Shit that we played the week before the week before.
Fair enough, guys. We're gonna jump into what we've been playing. There's a new stinger I just had to create for this whole bullshit. That's a new stinger right there. All right, guys. So we're going to touch on some games that we've been playing lately. Two major titles to be had this month. I'm going to pass it off to Lynn, and I know Matt has partaken in some of it. We're going to briefly discuss the current status and feelings on Borderlands 3. Go for it, Lynn.
If you love Borderlands,
Deep breath.
it's more Borderlands.
What? Say what?
And like the Quebec pizza, it's a good. Unless you're deep into the story and the lore, and then in which case you won't really care for it. But the gunplay, the looting, the bosses, the enemies, the maps, the vehicles, everything else, it's great. My opinion. What do you think, Matt?
My opinion is I love Claptrap.
Ew.
Even though
No.
he's voiced by a different actor?
Well, don't really care. I like the fact that you're actually like helping him build like another character, and it turns out to be like a girlfriend for him that ends up leaving him later.
Spoilers.
Hey, you know what?
Way to go, Matthew.
Game's been out for almost a month now. And if you haven't played it yet, you need to play it now. And that's one very, very, very teeny tiny part of the game.
Hold on. You're gonna need to cut this unless you're a broke college student.
I don't know if I will cut that. I don't know. We'll think about
Cut
it.
it.
We'll think about it, Lynn. That's a little hot. That's a little hot on the topic button.
That's a spicy button. You can't
Very,
push that one.
That's a spicy button. I'll put it.
There's
at
a
the end of
spicy
the episode.
meatball.
How about I put it at the very end
I will say this.
as an
that,
off-point? Go ahead. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Borderlands 3 is super fun. Like if you enjoyed playing Borderlands 2, I'm not going to talk about the pre-sequel.
Oh, come on. The best character in the pre-sequels is Claptrap.
That's the only reason why you play it. Sorry. Anyways, Borderlands 3 is basically like the best progression from a game that you will have. Going from 1, 2, and 3, it is you can the amount of guns, the amount of grenades, the skins involved to customize everything. It's just a blast. Or I should quote twerk. Bam.
Shit.
So the loot shooting game is real.
Yes.
And I would like to bring up a point that corresponds with the villains, and a lot of people on the internet and across the world have had issues with them. But if you're looking from someone looking towards current culture and culture directions, it is kind of funny and it does fit because that's where our culture is going.
And it's basically a slap in the face to the culture right now.
I'm excited to see all this
It's
context.
freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
I
Because
find it hilarious.
What's the catchphrase and where does that go?
Which one?
The
For
the
them?
that Tyrene says all the time. Like,
Dude, you're
subscribe, and obey.
Yes. So
Okay.
one of the characters that I loved that got voiced by Ice-T, which I love the fact
The Nav teddy bear.
freaking
Sorry.
Baytex.
Spoilers.
That was a spoiler, but you know what? It's okay. He's a pink teddy bear, but he doesn't care. He tells you that.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't
And-
care.
And he sits and the creators of this game gave him the ability to just be himself when asked questions and like, hey, just say what Ice-T would say. Just pretend that you're a teddy bear. Just don't even like think that you are a teddy bear. You're just you. And that's pretty much what Baytex is.
Kind of his Rick and Morty appearance as well,
Right.
when it was time to get swifty. But yeah, he's he's true to Ice-T. That's what it is.
Yes.
No other way. Were there any other characters that you cared for? New?
New characters. I do like Clay.
Okay, Clay is cool. I do gotta give Clay credit.
Um
I gotta say, when me and Lincoln and Emmett came across Clay, both of them were telling me that he was cool.
Another person I like isn't even like a actual like character. You
Okay.
just hear his voice. The pizza dude or the burger dude.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Yes. With the burger bot and the burger launcher.
Yes.
Yeah. That was very reminiscent of, I dare I say, Toy Story's Pizza Planet,
Yes.
for being honest. I do the quest prior to that with the coffee. That was an awesome quest line as well.
Yeah, especially with the bot going.
Yeah.
I don't have the power.
Oh,
You want me
dude,
to get you coffee now? Really?
my face, it didn't load. And then when his face does load, you're like, what? Anyways.
What about you? What's your favorite characters?
Oh man. Okay. I did like the Jacobs introduction character. I don't want to spoil that one. And
Yeah. I like that guy.
at the end of the game, I didn't care for the him and Hammerlock interaction
Eh.
because it was like, I don't hate it, but it's like, was it really necessary? Because there's no other like hints towards it, you know.
Mhm.
I don't hate it. I'm not saying that. It's cool beans. Rock
But
on. You guys
you do have to admit, in Borderlands 2, Hammerlock was kind of pretty flamboyant, so it kind of should have pointed in sort of a direction.
Yeah, I did. Fair enough. I'll take it. I like it then. Right on you. But okay, in all fairness, I did care for the Jacob's Estate quest line and that whole area, just where it felt like it was like Southern Bayou type
Mm-hmm.
thing, and I'm a sucker for that, like the Dixieland type thing. But
Yeah.
I like the Jacob's Estate and all those characters that were tied into it and the quest line. Not just the one character, but the whole quest line.
I got you.
There we go. There's that one. What are the
I,
characters
I
like?
I especially liked the 3 statues.
Yes. The 3 statues, how you had to solve how they were murdered individually.
Right.
Especially when you got to, what was it, the last one? Yeah. Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah. The one where you had
They
to
had
shoot
to
him
make a name up for it.
where you had to shoot him down south. That was a good one. But
I believe they called it testicular.
oh god, I don't remember it. I don't want to make it up. But it was.
We'll have to come back to it when we do a deep dive into it.
We need to do a deep dive into the storyline because there's so many great one-liners that are better than the other like storyline plot one-liners.
I would agree with that.
Okay, so you covered Clay. Clay was another one that I liked. I liked the Jacob's Estate. I liked, what else? Darn it, you took all the good ones.
I'm sorry.
No, I like the incorporation and the blending of Marcus and Moxie into the story. But other
That was
than
pretty good.
that, let's see. I didn't care for Captain Underpants. The bro and the bro-tastic, bro-tacular, bro-stream thing. I didn't really like that.
Oh.
You know, the guy that you had to save from the bandits who was hanging upside down initially?
Yes. Vaughn. Yeah.
Vaughn. Spoilers. I didn't care for him.
It's not really spoilers if they played Borderlands 2.
Yeah, but spoilers nonetheless, because somebody's gonna call for it. There'd be a lot of people who didn't play Telltale games and tell you that Reese was a spoiler.
Yeah, that's true.
And his badass mustache, not gonna lie, I loved it.
Yeah, I saved it.
I did too.
Oh, who? Somebody I was watching cut it off. Oh, somebody I watch on Mixer, Snug Samurai.
Yeah.
I go into a stream and I go, hey, Reese is bald faced. You cut his mustache off. He's like, yeah, I had to because I don't have a mustache. I was like, really? That was an epic mustache.
Man,
I
if
don't
you
know.
played him, if you played him in Telltale games by the time you were done with that storyline, he needed a mustache.
Right.
He's been through a bit.
And then
But
let's see.
hold on. Let's move on to characters we hated. Dark segment. Dun dun dun. Characters we hated. Go.
Characters we hated.
Yes.
I did not care for the whole Kagagawa guy.
Okay.
Like
Was
that guy.
Was it because the boss fight was hard as or was it just him in general?
Just him in general. It
Okay.
was basically it was a copycat, literally, of
Oh,
Handsome Jack.
okay.
Like that's how I felt, because
Fair enough.
his
I get
the
it.
way he was talking and like,
It was Handsome Jack meet Zero.
yep.
Okay. General Kagawa. Salute you as a bad character. One other one. Do one more, and then I'll move on to mine.
Well, I would have to go with I'm not gonna go with the twins, because that's just kind of like a given, because
Okay.
just them in general are kind of,
In general.
yes, general. Sorry. Aneurysms.
Their aneurysms bothered me. They gave me an aneurysm.
I think it was Pandora,
Okay.
and it
And
was I think he was one of the side boss fights.
side boss fight? What do you look like?
Like heavy metal, big.
You're not
What the heck
talking
is-
about the guy with the speakers, are you?
Yeah,
Okay. Fair
that
enough.
guy.
That's the first boss fight that you come across, and he's the guy who, no spoilers to anybody not giving away a name, but he controls sound waves, and
Yes.
he also has a shield,
Yes.
and spawns a bunch of, I'm
And it
not allowed to say the real name, but Tinks.
I yeah. I just remembered his name. Kilovolt.
Oh, that's not Kilovolt. Kilovolt is where Rick and Morty spawn later on in the game.
That's
You're
not Kilovolt?
No, you're talking about loud something. Hold on, I've got it pulled up. Yeah, Kilovolt drops the 9 volt, the hand cannon.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right. It's the younger brother to the older brother that you have to face off towards the end.
it's Mouthpiece.
Mouthpiece. There we go.
Yeah, Mouthpiece. He's the voice of the Children of the Vault.
That's descriptive.
He is when you do meet him, he is a pain in the butt. I will give you that.
Going back to characters we do love or that were like brought into this game.
No. That
Okay,
point,
fine. Okay, fine.
Okay, no. Characters that you do love that are in this game. Go.
Pain
One
and Terror.
Oh my gosh. You're a jerk. You stole my two.
Oh,
Because
you hated them?
No, the two that I love, that was my two.
Oh, really?
Darn it. Okay.
Dang it, Matthew, you stole it.
Hey, we
Okay.
can both love them. It's okay.
No. I have another two already. If we're being honest. Okay, so my number one for characters that I love that were added to this game is, drumroll please, Typhoon. I do
Oh,
like
Typhon.
Spoilers. I do like the very first Vault Hunter. I like his character. I like the way that he talks. Everything about him is freaking great. I love that character. Okay. And the second character that I love will be Pain and Terror. Pain and Terror are fantastic. And if you haven't come across them, oh, just wait. You are in for a treat.
Is one guy tall and one guy short and deaf?
You mean mute?
Voiced
Yeah,
by
they're voiced by
Teller himself.
Yeah, there's Ice-T, there's Penn and Teller, there's
Oh.
there's a bunch of like
Go look at the voice cast. You'll be like,
I love that. That's
Alright.
awesome.
and then if we're going to characters that we hate, my two,
Yes.
two, because there are a few, but two, you said Kilovolt, and I will have to, you didn't mean Kilovolt, but you meant Mouthpiece. I will have to say Kilovolt, because when you meet Kilovolt, there is no feasible means to take care of Kilovolt at the level that you meet him at.
Nope.
And he is a pig in the butt.
He is.
He deals shock damage. He has a shield that is only weak to shock damage, but he's immune to shock damage.
Mm-hmm.
So your only option is to get him with radiation, and at that rate, they nerf Porcelain Pipe Bomb, so you can't even feasibly fight him the proper way.
Well, if you mean proper, you mean not broken, because
Yeah,
a
not
couple of
broken.
pipe bombs, he was dead.
Yeah, if we're being honest.
I love it. Hey, I know I'm late to the story, but like, which character is Vaughn?
Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants. We talked about him earlier.
I'm just looking at the cast right now. That's voiced by Chris Hardwick.
Mm-hmm.
I love Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick's great. The character that he voices is crap.
Oh.
Hey, let's go this way. Oh, never mind.
He's not crap.
Sorry, not to bring it back to that, and then I saw Ice-T and Penn and Teller here as Pain and Terror. That's funny.
Yeah. And then the other characters that I feel like the entire storyline could have done without altogether, and other characters could have filled in with for this person, was Anne, the annoying teenager who felt entitled to become a siren.
Oh, you mean Anna?
Yeah, Anna. Sorry,
You mean Ava?
Or yeah, Ava.
Ava. There we go. Heyo.
Voiced by Felicia Angel.
Yeah,
Huh.
her being. I will say that the diary aspect of it was actually kind of a funny side mission.
That was a funny side mission, sure.
But other than that, I would have to agree that Ava.
Moya didn't have to die.
Mm-mm.
Lilith didn't have to feed into a teenager and bitch out to her strong stance of being a firehawk and succumb ultimately to a teenager.
On a side note, we can move on after this, guys, if you'd like.
No,
But
we'll move on. I'm spoiling the story.
this voice actress is also known for work on Dragon Ball Xenoverse Evangelion 3.0 and Attack on Titan Part 1.
Yes.
The actress for Ava?
The voice actress for Ava, Felicia Angel,
That's cool.
has worked on a lot of anime prior to this.
The character has no bearing on the storyline based on their voice acting prowess.
No.
Well, I mean, she's an apprentice to.
No. She was told to watch, and she didn't.
But she's an apprentice.
She was, I'm going to go back to the storyline. She was not an apprentice to Moya.
Okay. Are we at a good spot, guys?
No, Matt's probably right. I'm probably wrong. I'll succumb. I will secede to Matt. We will let the viewers tell us who is right in the comments down below.
There we go. That's fair enough.
They won't, and Matt will still be right. I seceded. And unless anybody says otherwise, Matt is right. Ava
Sure.
is an apprentice.
Hold on, can I mark this on a calendar? Oh, wait.
No.
Yeah, mark it on your imaginary calendar, Matthew. All right, guys. We've got one last major topic to cover, and these two gentlemen before you have all the XP involved in said category. I have only sampled the menu system and have not been able to jump in, but rest assured, listeners and viewers and gamers, I will be checking it out this weekend at the time of this recording. But guys, we have upon us a new extensive expansion for a very beloved game that we have talked at length about many times in the past. We are, of course, referring to the Bungie original property known as Destiny, and specifically Destiny 2's recent expansion known as Shadowkeep, which launched on October 1st, earlier this week. And as a side note, guys, I hope you're getting raid ready, all you Destiny elitists, because as of 10 a.m. or a few hours from now, at the time of this recording, the Garden of Salvation launches.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun. Put that finger down. Put that finger down. I almost called
Hey.
you out. Called out the wrong person here, Lynn. I won't even say who I was thinking about. hashtag he's not here tonight.
That's funny. All right, so
Love you. Anyway, guys, so here's the thing. The expansion Shadowkeep dropped. We got a bunch of changes in the game. We got a campaign with some story. Armor 2.0. If you guys know nothing about this game, join us for the conversation and learn about it. If you don't care, I bid you adieu. This will be the last topic of the episode. But that being said, anyone still lingering, all you Guardian fans, I'll give you guys bullet point commentary as I hear you guys talk through it, just to kind of keep us on track. But first off, I want first impressions from you guys. As far as a $40 expansion, how fulfilled do you feel with what's there for the amount you're paying for? And what's your excitement level for where? I'll let you guys fight over who talks first.
I think Lynn's dead.
They are silently doing rock, paper, scissors, and it's failing because of internet delay.
Yes.
Lynn, give us your first impressions. Yeah, I was like, you're muted, so there you go. Sorry.
Are you a returning Destiny fan from Destiny 1? If
Yeah.
so,
Sorry.
if so, the moon has only slightly changed, and it's f***ing fantastic. And I feel like if you feel like the moon is worth $40, dump your $40 into it.
I am
Because the
already
moon-
going to have to censor the shit out of this segment. Go on.
Hold on. Hold on. Were you missing that creepy ass 3-eyed bitch from the first game? Well, she's back. And she brought friends.
I mean, some of us might have been.
No, in all fairness,
Oh,
though,
jeez.
if you were missing Eris Morn, she is back. Okay. I don't know if Bungie planned it for when the game did release on October 1st, but the moon is spooky as f***, and it is great. Because there are spoilers, big spoilers ahead, large spoilers if you haven't bought into the game. Dead bodies flying around everywhere. And it is great.
It is an amazing time.
But I will say, from my perspective, not completely playing through the campaign all of the way, only leveling up a little bit and enjoying the season pass just a little bit. So far, I am enjoying it. The moon is a large box of nostalgia that got set onto my table. I unwrapped it and I was surprised by what I found inside because it was more than I thought would be there. And there were memories that were brought back that I do enjoy, and things that were added in to certain spots that relate to old strikes that I loved. And it's very reminiscent of D1, and I'm glad that they stayed true to the moon. And if you remember the moon from D1, you won't get lost. It's pretty much the same as it was, with a few things that are added in on outskirts. And if you ever complained about Destiny being too easy, I dare you at 750 to go and try and kill a thrall with a 140 RPM hand cannon with only body shots. With only body shots. And tell me how successful and what your TTK was. I would like to see that in the comments below. I will throw my results out as a spoiler. And it did take 4 shots to the body. And it was very painful. Because that red bar thrall was in my face. And he did get off 2 melees before I got him killed.
Oh, jeez.
I might have been in an area where I shouldn't have been, but it was the vibe I was getting from the area was very rape.
Are you talking about the other night when we were down at the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It's very okay. But in all seriousness though, for all those people that ever complained about Destiny being too easy, for like the end of Forsaken, or the middle of Forsaken, or before Forsaken, or any of Destiny 2, if we're being honest.
Oh, we're not going to talk
This-
about Osiris.
This expansion right here, a lot of people are saying that they hit the reset button, but what I'm saying is they hit the hard mode button. Really. Like, or not necessarily the hard mode button, but the this is what the game should have been button.
Right.
And you actually have something to work towards to get to the easy button of Forsaken. That's what this is. It's the grind is there, the items are there, the story is there, and it melds. It works so far. I don't know where it falls off, but that's where I'm at. I'll pass it off to Matt.
This DLC or expansion is basically what Destiny 2 needed. Like, it was something that, for me, nightfalls were difficult if you made it such, with like all the multipliers and stuff. But other than that, it was pretty simple. You can go into it by yourself and play through the whole campaign by yourself. This game turns it around, this expansion, to where if you are not playing with another person, you kind of get lost and you will die. Well, like Lynn said, it's like they turned on the hard button. They like pressed pause, turned it to hard mode, and then pressed unpause while you're still playing.
Hashtag
And-
reality.
And some of the stuff that me and Lynn got into, there was things that I could not even kill while going down below. When we hit the nostalgia part of going into Fogoth's lair, and lo and behold, there was a champion down there. A champion that was a Minotaur that could regen its health super fast. And it had a barrier. And yeah, it killed us numerous times before we were like, nope, okay, we'll come back later.
Screw you.
But like even on that aspect, the Nightfall in this, there's different ways you can play it. So they added different tiers to it. There's Adept, Hero, something, and Master. Can't think of what's in between Hero and Master, but anyways, you can actually go in there solo, and it will actually connect you with people in Hero and also in Adept to other players online, the Xbox Live aspect. And then the amount of stuff that they put into the Nightfalls, like as the master side, me and Dazed and Mzizzle all try to do a hero at 920. It's at 920 light. I'm 908 right now. Dazed is 906 at the time, and Mzizzle's like 903. And we went into hero, and there is champions in this. And the first champion we come across, we can't even kill. It's melting us with just like 2 hits. And it's one of those ones that can regen its health. Anyways, with that being said, this is for me a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, or however you want to call it. It brought something to the game that needed to be added. That made me feel like, basically, it like I love the games that kind of challenge me in that aspect, and this is what this expansion does for people. So if you like harder style games, get Shadowkeep.
So that sounds exciting, especially to the committed player base, especially to us who have stuck through with this game over the years. What I do want to kind of cover, I was going to talk about accessibility, getting this game, that sort of thing.
No, I was
So,
going in a direction.
You go ahead and cover that additional
Okay.
point. Go ahead.
So the thing that I do love is the fact that they added the old stats from the previous game back in, the strength, discipline, and intellect. I do love that it does have the more MMO aspect feel to it. Like you are able, like you're not just searching for certain pieces of gear that have 3 stats, but now you're trying to equalize yourself over a plethora of stats to benefit yourself in other ways other than health and mobility.
And one of the big guys that usually speaks to the community, Luke Smith, on a lot of the Vidocs, has recently stated, not recently, but like over the last year of development leading up to this expansion, he, among others, has talked about pushing more and more of making this a true RPG. Like that's always kind of been their underlying goal since they separated from Activision. It's probably been a goal they've had from the beginning, but couldn't quite get there under previous management. And some people complained about the extensive, stats being, it's starting to get a little more gritty in the details. But dude, this is kind of the first sign we've seen of them going hardcore nerd with this game, and I'm excited about it.
Even from D1, being as deep into Trials as I was in D1, you always tried to min-max stats. And coming over to D2 with the stats that are over here, the resilience, the restoration, and the mobility, it didn't feel as rewarding to min-max your stats in D2 as it did in D1. Because in those competitive game modes, you really felt the bonus of having those higher level stats and those bonus stats in certain areas. Whereas in D2, what did you stack? Resilience and restoration, just so that you didn't get one shot or two tapped by a certain gun. And then if you did get clipped by a round, you were able to restore your health faster to make up for it. Whereas in D1, you were more worried about who was the first person to get their super in a trials match, who was the first person to get a grenade off in a trials match, or who was the first person to have their melee up. Because certain classes, like a hunter, if you could get your melee up in a trials match, that meant you had a smoke bomb and everybody was invisible. And then you were able, if you had a Monte Carlo paired with that smoke bomb, you could get the smoke bomb back because you just had it. And then you were
Right.
invisible again and you got the drop on the team again. It's very reminiscent of that and how you would actually go and try to stack those points in those certain aspects. And it gets more heavy into the MMO feel of it, like what you would in WoW, where you'd get a certain piece of gear with, like these three stats that are high, and then you get another piece of gear that had these three stats that were high. So that way, when you had all of your gear lined up, your whole bar across every board would be at where you could be min-maxed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd go down the list on your gear, and then you'd start disenchanting or enchanting based on what you wanted. And in this case, it would be armor mods. You'd throw those in there to compensate for those certain stats you were short on, or you'd lower your weapon recoil across kinetic and energy.
Right. And hey, um, speaking of D1 and trials and such things, like we know that's been an ongoing conversation amongst fans of will they ever bring it back? And something I like to point out that I'm kind of like, I think could give us a little gleam of hope with the idea of having something like trials again is the fact that what is it? The Crucible Labs where they're testing different game modes. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think as of right now, or coming up, I believe it's right now, so I apologize if I'm misquoting, but I believe they introduced with the launch of Shadowkeep in Crucible Labs, the game mode notification I got on when I launched the game said that elimination was added, and with the 3v3 being back to a standard 4D2, that's kind of a very small little bit of a taste of what Trials was in one respect, and where maybe they're experimenting and trying to find a way to bring something like Trials back through this little test. Maybe. Just something I'm throwing out there.
Okay. I don't want to
Yeah.
be the one who sits there and talks the whole time, but elimination was a game mode that was already in, and it was in comp. But what the thing that they're bringing back or testing with the Crucible Labs is bringing the 3v3 from D1 trials back and putting it with the elimination. So I think what
So
you're
how,
going to start to see is Crucible Labs will stay at the 3v3 game mode and they'll try it out and see how the waters feel as far as bringing trials back.
right?
But
How similar is elimination to what Trials was? Is it pretty close to the same
that's
thing?
Yeah, it's what it was.
it's what it was.
Okay.
And
Okay,
I
I was
mean,
just curious.
we
Yeah.
we had elimination before in the comp playlist. Elimination was there.
And then they took it out and tried to revamp it as
So
Showdown. I
Okay,
think.
but the previous iteration was nearly the same thing, but it was 4v4, I'm guessing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for D2. And then going off of that whole aspect with labs, I think it's what they're doing is taking different configurations for elimination and trying to figure out like certain power. Like I think right now in the labs the power level isn't something that is affected, but they're supposed to like put in their level ability or light advantage at some point
Yeah.
to try to make it
Rough
seem
finish.
like it is back the old like comp.
Yeah.
Um,
But what I'd really like for them to do is assess map viability with the 3v3 game set, because I feel like most of the newer maps were set to larger game types, and it would be a little rough to run a 3v3 on a lot of the D2 Crucible maps. It would give people a lot of places to hide, and I don't know if that is good or bad, but they are bringing back older maps from D1.
I was just about to say they actually brought back like a good amount of maps from D1 because they also brought back the Cosmodrome.
Yeah,
Um,
they brought back one of my favorite maps from D1.
Nice.
and it with the whole aspect of like the comp, they've got a what is it? What do they call it? Rollover or no rollover? Reoccurring ones. So like right now you got for quick play you have um, Showdown and you also have Clash as reoccurring ones. Next week they're gonna be. I just saw it on my dashboard.
Set the bomb one, wasn't it? And then
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
so they're testing the waters with those as well to try and see like what things people like to play more of and try to
Yeah.
keep them in a playlist because you could play like the quick play mix classic mix which has supremacy countdown or not countdown but
Countdown's a good one.
countdown's comp though but yeah I agree Clash. What is the other one I'm thinking of? The one with the flags.
Control.
Control. So you got those three in the classic mix. And then the reoccurring ones are like ones that they've had where there's like a 4v4 version and a 6v6 version. I think Mayhem's coming up at some point. Anyways,
Mayhem's here.
Hey, I all that sounds fun and interesting. I'm thinking of one particular additional category that I'd like to throw into this mix. Before we get close to the end here, that I want to kind of unfold a little bit for our listeners and viewers, and that would be so you guys are liking the content. It seems worth the jump in. The multiplayer stuff, a lot of experimental things going on, but it's looking bright, like there's a good future behind it. I think a good final thing to for sure cover, regardless, outside of concluding thoughts, is what we're getting with the expansion and the season passes and how those work as far as financially, the concern of pay to play versus pay to win, and things like that we've heard within our own circle of friends and community that have voiced concerns over such things. So I'll lay out the first couple things, and then we'll kind of go back and forth, guys, regarding the seasonal stuff. But as it stands, and what we all understand now that this game has launched, Bungie made it very clear from the very beginning for the last 2 months that the Destiny 2 new light that was going to launch behind this expansion was going to be a free-to-play version of all the previous content that would allow new players and kind of open up the doors to encourage more players to join in. And specifically, one second, Matthew, this content covered D2 launch, the Trials of Osiris expansion, the Mars expansion, which was the Warmind, and everything up to right before Forsaken, but not including Forsaken. Meaning, if you want to play Forsaken content or Shadowkeep content, those two expansions you would still have to buy into. But if you want to play all the core campaign, the Red War campaign, the two expansions, and Bungie even included strikes and Crucible maps and everything else related to Shadowkeep and Forsaken. The only thing you can't play and get from Shadowkeep and Forsaken are exotics that are specific to those expansions and the campaign story that's specific to those two campaigns. But you can join your friends in any of the multiplayer features, even in Forsaken and Shadowkeep. You just can't play the storyline or earn the exotics. That was the case for what the free-to-play was. A couple friends of ours voiced their confusion over, hey, I thought there was no more paywall. I thought this was going to be a free-to-play game. It is up until these two last expansions. And so we'll open up the statements and opinions on whether we think that's fair or justified, and then we'll move on to the season pass concerns. So, Matthew, you were wanting to say something, or would you like to be the first to voice your opinion on justification for the two DLCs and New Light? What's your opinion on these?
What I was going to talk on was the whole New Light thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somebody that's like specifically brand new to D2 altogether, they actually have a chance of playing the first level of D1 when they first get D2.
Yes. A trial introductory mission that takes place in the Cosmodrome,
yes,
which is unique to Destiny 1.
Yes. And the green gear that you get from that, and also a gun that was very nostalgic that I currently own, by the way. Anyway, the Kvostov.
Why the bitterness, Lynn? What's going on there?
It's a good gun. All I'm saying. And it's a white. It's a good gun and it's white.
It does do a lot of damage, like even in PvP. Like
Super common.
Yeah, it's a super common. But the with that whole new light, like they get that part of it. They get the first level of D1. The Cosmodrome.
Yeah, that was that heavy machine gun exotic quest.
No. It's a Risk Runner.
Oh, in the last seasonal event, they brought you back to the Cosmodrome again for the heavy machine gun that shot the Thunderlord. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That was another opportunity to go back to the Cosmodrome.
Yes.
Sorry about that, sir. Go on.
Oh no, you're fine. With that being said, that mission, like I haven't like fully gotten into that mission. I just like played in the Cosmodrome because it brought back nostalgia from D1. Like I didn't even like touch any part of the mission. I was just killing things. And I tried to see how far I could get away with, like going into certain areas of the Cosmodrome to see like how much of it was unlocked.
Right? Like what we did on the moon?
Yes.
Okay, in all fairness though, I will have you know, Joe, we did get outside the map on the moon, and we did explore outside the map.
Ooh.
Yeah, we did.
Good to know.
We found the wet spot on the moon.
Completely by accident, by the way.
Yeah, it was completely by accident.
Okay, but Matthew,
Anyway.
Your additional thoughts on New Light and the current content that everyone can get to now.
So the new content that everyone can get to now, via like right now, when you get Shadowkeep, you do get the season pass for free. It's kind of a limited thing compared to the people that actually.
It's just season 8 though, and we're not jumping into season conversation yet. But
oh, sorry.
No, we're talking about New Light and how it's free to play, and how some people were misled thinking that all content would be free up to this point, but it's not, because you still have to buy Forsaken and you still have to buy Shadowkeep.
Right. There is still plenty of game in just regular D2 that will keep you entertained for hours. I mean, I've got like
dare I say thousands of hours?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I've put in probably a good 1,800 hours, I think, in this game complete, like total.
Lynn looks a little besmirched at the moment.
He's probably got over 2,000. So I mean,
well, his whole jump to Xbox and then bouncing back, yes, he's put in some double time.
And deleted characters on.
You deleted your characters from Destiny 1?
I deleted them and started them over, if we're being honest.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Can we get Lynn's opinion on New Light and whether or not you feel it's justified to still buy Forsaken and buy Shadowkeep?
Matt hasn't finished.
Okay. I know. I was just keeping the train rolling. Go on.
What do you feel, Matt?
I feel that it's still justified to buy Forsaken and Shadowkeep because those are two separate entities that go along expansions in the original game, and that's what you're getting for free. Forsaken was an expansion that was bigger than both the two expansions that came with the game. And
arguably bigger than the entire core game, almost.
Right. And then Shadowkeep is just basically Forsaken on steroids, in my opinion, because of how much stuff is added into it and all that good jazz. New Light, you start out at 750 because that's where everything, that's the baseline right now from where you start. Even starting a brand new character, you're gonna be 750 light.
And
So you're gonna
Bungie's purpose is to allow you to play with your current friends like us that are veterans and have been playing this whole time.
Exactly. And you still get to be able to level up your character. You get to feel pretty much essentially all the powers without actually having to unlock all the powers. So it's like you've got everything there for you to test your feet into if you want to get Forsaken and Shadowkeep. You have everything there for you, regardless of like content, other like Forsaken exotics or the exotics for Shadowkeep. You still got the Mida tool from D1. I feel like Lynn's gonna like retract everything I'm saying right now.
No, I feel like are you concluded in your feelings on New Light? And if
Yeah.
so, let's pass the torch to Lynn to get his bare bone thoughts
Yeah,
on
I'm kind of wondering.
New
what that
Light,
face is for.
and do we still need to pay for these last 2 expansions that were insanely wonderful?
So, let me say, New Light is very. What's a good way to put this?
Consider the fact that it's been out for.
It's less slap choppy, more
Oh,
shake
okay.
weighty.
Like I
My opinion.
okay.
Damn dirty holdouts. You damn dirty holdouts, and everybody else who cared to support the game and where the game was going, and everybody who dumped the time and money in to make this game where it's at right now, the journey to get here, all the shit we've been through, all the shit we've enjoyed, all the shit we've hated, all the shit we've enjoyed again, and then all the shit we've hated again. To this point. And the entire time, I'm sitting back here like this going, make it rain, I'm loving it. And you guys are going, yeah, I'll wait and see how the waters taste later on down the line. No, that's how any cynical asshole would feel, if we're being honest.
Hard shrugging of the shoulders, Lynn. That's what I got for you.
No, that's how any cynical asshole would feel right now. How I feel is you're getting the base game for free. Rock on. Everybody on PlayStation really got the base game for free. I can't complain about that anymore. You're getting the 2 DLCs that everyone across the internet hated.
Mm-hmm.
Rock on. The internet hated it. Sweet deal. You guys get those 2 DLCs for free. You don't need to second guess about paying money for those DLCs. I enjoyed them. They were good. There were certain characters and certain voice actors in those 2 DLCs that I enjoyed, and others that I had to leave behind because they felt that they mispronounced words and didn't represent their character right. But I digress. You won't get to enjoy those characters. Now, do I feel like they still need to pay for Forsaken? Yes. There was a large amount of content added. There were large changes made. There were 3 new subclass trees for every character added in. And there was 2 new raids and a handful of exotics added in. And then there was also the season of the Drifter, the season of Opulence, and then the other season that was added in that nobody really cares about because nobody remembers the name.
Hashtag Black Armory.
Shh. Sorry. We use that as our we use that as a dirty farming location, and you know it. We will keep that under wraps. But
Yes.
all in all, I feel like Forsaken still needs to be paid for. Okay? And Shadowkeep, so far, if you don't feel like buying the pass, rock on. But the base content for $35, I feel like $35 is a good price. I paid for it twice and bought the season pass. So I definitely feel here's for all you skeptics out there, I held out and I bought it on one console to see if it was worth buying on the other console. And I played through it a little bit. And in the little bit that I played through, I felt that it was worth buying on the second console because I enjoyed it so much. And I know that I would enjoy it with my friends on the other system. So if you don't want to buy into all of the other gimmicks and everything, whatever you feel your quip is, the $35 base game for the expansion, I feel like it's worth it. That's where I'm at.
Rock on. And my one or two statements of my opinion on the same subject that I will then segue into the season pass conversation is this. I think Destiny's been out for such a long time that Bungie as a company has more than made their money worth on the base game at this point. We're in year 3 now, and the only benefit they can have by making it free to play is to increase their player base. That's the point of making the base game free to play. Memes aside, Lynn, memes aside. Increasing the player base is the biggest point of making any portion of anyone's game free to play. It's to get more people to buy in emotionally into the idea of trying the game out, falling in love with it. And unfortunately, Bungie is a big development company on the one hand, but they are also no longer supported by a massive publishing company. And so you only have 3 paywall options to go through because let's face it, 500 employees cannot create content for you dumb assholes for free. It's just not possible. I don't mean to be harsh, but it's a stupid reality that you guys have to get over. Secondly, the 3 options are as thus. You can go the World of Warcraft route and charge your fan base upwards of $15 a month to keep playing a game. And guess what? World of Warcraft still charges 20 to 30 bucks for every expansion that physically comes out, so they can at least recoup their development costs up front. Even though they are such a profitable company, Blizzard doesn't need to do that. They don't need the monthly subscription because they still charge for the expansion. So guess what? Bungie's doing you a favor. They're not charging you a subscription. Secondly, they could go completely free to play, like let's say Warframe. Warframe has been hugely successful for 6 years now. They've added a crapload of expansions and updates over those 6 years. But guess what? They make their money from all the whales out there in the world, not calling anyone fat, but the people that have money to burn, that's where they get you. Microtransactions out the ass. And yes, it's a bitch to grind for anything in that game. They make the grind so hard that it almost forces you to have to pay for anything that you want. That's the type 2 paywall. That's the mobile game type of gameplay where they're like, you can grind for 50 hours or buy this right now. Right? So you got a monthly subscription option. You've got an asinine grind option that makes you pay for microtransactions. Or you get a decent, loving, independent company who's just trying to make their dimes back, and they only charge you for the DLC as it comes out, and they never charge you again. I feel like that's kind of a magical little spot where Bungie, unfortunately, has to kind of stick their asses into because they're not a major corporation and they've got family and children to feed. And they're still making rock hard, badass games for us because they too are gamers and fans. So I digress. I think even my hardcore friends that disagree with some of the things Bungie has done have told me recently they still agree in paying for the DLC. But a recent concern makes my segue nice and clean here for jumping into how Bungie has set up their future and ongoing season pass content. They are doing it a la carte. Previously, we were forced to pay, if we wanted to have anything to do with the passes, we had to pay over $30, the same cost as the expansion, just to enjoy the 2 to 3 month seasons that keep coming at us, which include sometimes exotic weapons, unique armor, sometimes a unique gameplay, thing. In the case of Season of the Drifter, we had a unique gambit mode, and in Season of Opulence, we had a unique 6-player match-made raid-style mode that was grinding through things almost like a raid, but not a full-blown raid. And, those came and went. Think about this. Some content comes and goes, like seasonal content, for instance, like the Halloween one. We got the Infinite Forest grind, which came, and once that unique event was over, we could no longer go through the haunted Infinite Forest. Same thing with the Christmas thing, where you were able to make cookies, muffins, you could bake goods and stuff. It was unique to that season, to that event. So what I'm getting at here is that Bungie is now pushing for their seasonal content to be more like those events that come and go. And they're designing the game in a way where you can completely skip the seasons and continue playing the main game. And they're promising us that you're not going to miss out on anything major, like plot-wise. They're introducing new things to collect, of course. That comes with items, exotics, of course. And Bungie has never kept any exotic permanently within a season. Usually by the end of a season, they throw it into the loot pool and they offer up a new quest where you can try to find it through a unique quest that's outside of the season. So what I'm getting at, what we've been presented with, is now they're not forcing us to pay for the whole year of seasons. They're now letting you go season by season. This current season that came with Shadowkeep, Season of the Undying, literally comes with the $35 expansion. It's nothing separate. It's literally baked in to some extent where you can still participate in like the events that are related to it. And they're only charging for like the physical season to jump right in and get some of the unique things right up front. It's only $10, guys. $10. And they're offering 4 seasons this year. Season 8 lands with this expansion, and there's going to be 3 more seasons before the end of Destiny Year 3. And each one of them is only $10, and you can choose to completely ignore that season if none of it interests you. And when Season 9 kicks in, you can drop $10 for that season if you want. I think the number one concern I want you guys to give me an opinion on, and both of you have experience with this since you've jumped in this week. Season 9 offered a unique hand cannon exotic, and it's going to be available more towards the latter half, almost end of this season for everyone else to get. But anyone that paid that whopping ungodly figure of $10 can get it today, right now. Now, I want you guys to give me your opinion on, let's say this hand cannon was fantastic. What's your opinion on how fair or not fair it is to waffle up 10 whopping bucks, the cost of 50 cents a day for the course of a month, or less than that? I'm not good at math, don't quote me, guys. But $10. $10 and you can get in with everyone else. Or are we truly suffering by waiting a few weeks for that one exotic that everyone else paid a whopping $10 for? I apologize for the sarcasm, but I'm a little passionate about the silliness of complaining over $10. But Matthew, give me your first impression on Is it fair? Is it not? Is $10 really that big of a deal? What's your opinion on the season pass layout?
I think that with the season pass layout, I think $10 is worth it for the amount of stuff that you're going to be getting throughout the whole season. There's 100 tiers to go through, and each tier, when you pay the $10, you have something going towards your character, whether it be XP boost, an exotic Ingram, an exotic gun that you've like. Let's talk about that. The what is it? Something Vow, Arion's Vow, or something like that.
Yeah, the hand cannon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get it right off the bat for the $10. You get to play with it and find out that it's an okay gun. It's decent in PvE. Like it does some damage in PvE. PvP, it takes some getting used to. I would still use like the Ace of Spades if you're gonna go an exotic route, or Last Word. If you like hand cannons, or even switching it up and not even using those and going with a legendary like a Trust or Luna's Howl.
And I love the Trust personally.
I would use those over this gun 10 times over. Just for the simple fact, I mean, yes, it is a 2-tap in PvP, but the amount of zoom that it has on it, as soon as you get hit by a shot, the flinch on it is so bad that people on PC will have no trouble with this. People on console are going to have to deal. I mean, a lot of people are saying that with the season pass, when you buy it, it's pay to play or pay to win. It's not really pay to win because it's I would say a B tier or an A tier style weapon. It's not even an S style weapon. It's not really something that's meta. If you're like wanting to put that out there.
Right.
So
if you could buy the Whisper 1.0 on day one ahead of everyone else trying to grind for it, that would be completely unfair.
Yeah, that would be unfair because that gun is ridiculous. This one, it's in PvE. I like it, but that's it. I don't like it in PvP because I'm more of a fast-paced type of person. Anyways, I digress. So, $10 is totally worth the amount of stuff that you're gonna get with the season pass because it's not just the gun, it's XP boosts, it's
It
clan
helps
XP
in your
boosts.
grind.
Yeah. So you're not slowly working your way up to the top power level. You're getting there faster that way. Being on the top tier of the season pass, meaning the free portion of it, you're still going to be getting an XP boost. You're still going to get some weapons. You still get the hand cannon at level 35. You get a what is it? An auto rifle, a machine gun,
Mhm.
and a shotgun.
And that's
and those are all in the top tier.
Level 35. That's 35 out of 100 for the whole season, right?
Right. Yeah, for that.
And you and Lynn are both like, well, barely a week in, are already at like around level 14-ish. So like you're over halfway.
Yeah, I'm at level 13 and a half, I think.
Yeah,
Like about to be 14.
Yeah, so you're already halfway to where
I'm
the
at
unpaid
I'm at-
version would get the exotic.
I'm at 11 and I haven't even finished the campaign yet.
Yeah. So it's not heartache. I would say to those bitching about Crucible situations, stay out of the Crucible till you get it. I don't know what else to say because it's not a meta gun. But I'll pass it off to Lynn. You give me your thoughts on the pass system.
Okay, so nothing about the pass is pay to win. And I will fight anyone who wants to argue. I'm not joking. Dead bottom line. Nothing about this pass is pay to win. Because at rank 7, free rank, free path, free rank, everything. You get the seasonal artifact, which you can immediately start leveling up and working towards your power level. Rank 7, free path. Okay? And then you go down a little bit further. At rank 30, you get the Plupperfect, which is the auto rifle. Free path. The auto rifle. Everybody gets it. Free path.
You get a free path, and you get a free path.
There's nothing on the bottom track so far that anybody else can get. All the gear up to the auto rifle, all the gear is on the free path.
Mhm.
Everybody can get it. The only thing that's on the premium track has been upgrade components and enhancement cores thus far. And then XP boosts and glimmer. That's what's been so far. And then you get to rank 35, which is Ariana's Vow. And on 35, to compensate the premium track, because we already got the gun, we get in a legendary engram. Not even an exotic engram. We get a legendary engram at 35. But
Ooh.
a few lines down, we do get an exotic engram. That compensates for the fact at 35 we got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then at 45, you get the machine gun. The temporal callus.
Yeah, and everybody gets those. It's
the free track.
Yeah.
All the guns are on the free track. I'll skip way far ahead. Ready? All the way towards the end. At rank 90. Oh my gosh. There is something on the premium track that the free track won't get, and it's going to totally f them. You want to know what it is? It's the exotic ship.
Oh my god.
Never live it down. You're going to never live it down because you didn't dump $10 into the premium track.
Man, you know what's crazy about that? I'm pretty sure all the sparrows in the Eververse were about $10 a piece.
I don't even give a crap. I honestly don't.
I know, but do you see the point?
No,
do you see the point I'm making?
No, I agree with you.
Like, I spent $10 for a damn sparrow, and that did not include a full season.
You want to hear something else? At rank 99, you get an exotic emote called
What?
Clash of Swords. And it's two guardians. Like, if you and your buddy have the same emote, you guys can whip out Crota's sword and go at it like you got lightsabers.
Woo!
There's a light clash and everything when the two swords hit.
So I get all that shit for $10. Wow.
Exotic emote, exotic ship. You get an exotic hand cannon that's broken as fuck before anybody else can get it at rank 1. And at rank 100, get this, Batman, you get an exotic ornament for that exotic hand cannon that you got at rank 1. So you get it at rank 1, and then you get the special skin for it at rank 100.
Whoa.
On the premium track, that is, my guy. You gotta have the premium track there.
Man, we are so heavily sarcasticing the shit out of this unknown disgruntled Destiny fan.
You know what the free track gets that the premium track doesn't get? The nostalgic bright engram at rank 100.
Oh my God, we don't get it.
No, we do get it because we bought it to get the free track anyway. But I mean, my thing is okay. If you look at the premium track, there is Fire Team XP bonuses riddled throughout the premium track that only help you and your friends when you're in a fire team.
right.
So when you join into a fire team with your friends, everybody in the fire team gets a buff called what is it? Meeting of the minds or combination of the minds,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Yeah.
gives you a stacking XP bonus for everybody in the fire team that has that XP buff. And as you go through the premium track, it only makes that buff get higher and higher. So,
That sounds pretty special.
hence that cheese that I was telling you about earlier, which helps you blow through your premium track in about a couple hours.
Which also would help the people that don't have the premium track to get all the way through theirs at the same time.
Whoa, and get to rank 35 in less than like 20 minutes so that they can have that hand cannon that they would so seriously love.
20
Or-
minutes, huh?
Vault.
You say 20 minutes?
Give or
Yeah.
take.
Looks
If
like
you-
we looks
if
like we
you-
need to get our buddy online and get him that damn hand cannon.
If you burnt through like the first bit of storyline and you're at Erisborn, and you can
Bless
get
you.
to the didn't mean to sneeze there.
It's okay.
How
And you
dare
can
you,
get-
sir?
And you can get to where she gives you bounties. Yeah. You can blow through your battle pass. I mean season pass. They're pretty quick.
This isn't Fortnite.
My
But
bad,
it might as well be.
my dude. But
Wow.
I mean, okay, no. All joking aside, I feel like this is $10 is fair compensation for content out. Like money in for content out, it's fair compensation. Because they said how much it costs to make the Ronin skin for the Whisper of the Worm. And the money from what they received for the Whisper of the Worm skin paid for the development cost of the Outbreak Perfected quest. So if we're being honest here, money in versus content out is well worth it. I feel like $10 is fair, and you can't beat it.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, you're getting a ship that would cost you $10. You're getting an emote that would cost you $10. Not to mention skins, XP boosts, and a few other things. So there's where I'm at. That's how I feel. It's good. If you don't have the $10, let me know. I'll put in a couple overtime hours and I'll get you your $10. I mean, fuck.
or don't sweat it because you can still earn a lot of that.
You can go down the free track. I'm not hassling anybody. I just feel like if you have a quip with it, there's a way there. If you have a strong enough will, there is a way, my friend. If you're willing to grind it out, you can get to 35 and you can get yourself that badass hand cannon. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna work to get to my level 100, so that way I can get my badass skin for my badass hand cannon and have my badass ship, and I can go to my badass friends with my badass sword emote, and we can
And just
cross
be
swords,
bad ass.
not feel gay.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say. There's gonna be people
Ah.
that have issues with it one way or another, saying, "Oh, it's greedy. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that." At the end of the day, you got to think how long does it take somebody to code the animation for a static guardian to pick up a sword and cross it with another static guardian and do the animation? I bet you they couldn't do it. All I'm saying.
For sure. For sure.
Well, and then going off of your aspect, I mean, paying for the season pass, you're paying for future content that's gonna be possibly even better than this season.
Well, I mean, do people want more Warmind or Osiris DLCs? People,
I hope
the
so.
the internet consensus is out, and everybody hated those two apparently. I'm not saying that I did, but it's, you know, I enjoyed the Outbreak Perfected thing, although I cheesed the crap out of it. I enjoyed the
Don't say anything.
Outbreak Perfected quest.
Hey guys, it's I hate to be the bad bearer of
News.
late night news, but like I think I should wrap it up at this point. We can revisit more conversation about
Fuck,
Shadowkeep.
man. Got me talking about a subject that I could go on all night for, and I hit my like second or third wind already.
Right.
Dude, I'm
Unwind
so
the
sorry.
sounds. Go.
You know what? How about I stop this recording and then you hit record on your end and keep going, and then you guys can. I'll upload the video later.
I'm good. I got two kids sleeping on the sofa. I gotta get back to bed.
Yeah, and
I've
my baby could very well wake up at any time. It's almost 2:30.
And my
Ha-
baby's awake, and my youngest daughter's awake. So
Hashtag
Get them to-
pull the curtains back to our listeners. Yeah. It's 2:30 a.m. All right. Well,
to the left. Oh wait, what?
guys, thank you for your time. If you've made it to the end, you are true fans. Thank you for joining us for the video game streaming content. Thank you for joining us for the video game streaming content, the Borderlands review, thoughts, and our Destiny 2 Shadowkeep discussion. Got a little heated here and there about certain things, or maybe got you guys heated about a few certain things. I feel like we were all pretty level-headed for this, but it has been a long one. So I'm just going to end it nice and sweet and say that stay nerdy, friends. This has been your Nerdy Essentials. For me, Matthew, and Lynn, we'll see you on the other side. And I beg our listeners to spam the crap out of your Twitter account and tell you otherwise. Anyway.
Ew.
Wait, what are we recording now?